As I lay in the emergency room, my mother walked off with the entire medical team to check on my brother's broken bone. Part 2, when she finally confirmed that he was unharmed. Her relief gave way to fury. I've said it time and time again. Cullen is the curse of this family. Since the day Miles was born, that boy has done nothing but bring trouble to him. Miles seized the opportunity, his voice soft and pleading as he said, "Don't be mad, Victoria. Even if my brother pushed me onto the road, I'm sure he didn't mean it." That one sentence set the entire room ablaze. My father slammed his hand on the table. "What? He pushed you onto the road?" My mother's voice trembled with rage. "That little monster. I won't let him get away with this." Victoria's eyes gleamed with venom as if she couldn't wait to tear me apart. For a split second, I saw a flicker of panic in Miles' eyes. It was as if he realized he might have gone too far and risked exposing himself. He quickly backtracked, his voice trembling with faux sincerity. "Mom, Dad, Victoria, please don't be mad at Cullen. Maybe I remembered wrong. No matter what, he's still my brother. He wouldn't do something like that." Victoria reached out and gently tapped his forehead, her expression soft and indulgent. "You are just too pure-hearted, Miles. You don't understand how cruel people can be." My mother spoke, her voice filled with reverence. "You don't know how blessed we are to have such a wonderful son." Then, with a warm smile, she added, "We'll listen to you, Miles. Let's just ignore that ungrateful wretch and focus on helping you recover." The golden rays of the setting sun streamed through the window, casting a warm glow over Miles' hospital bed. I stood there watching the four of them sharing a moment of laughter and warmth. A wave of bitterness rose in my chest. For the first time, I felt just how misplaced my soul was in this family. I wasn't their son. I was nothing more than a stray dog. I wanted to escape, to run far away, but my spirit was anchored to my mother, trapped in the suffocating aura of their disdain. Point 3. A few days later, Miles was discharged from the hospital after days of my family's careful treatment. My mother bustled around packing up his belongings with painstaking care. My father pulled the car right up to the hospital entrance, worried Miles might have to take even a single extra step. Victoria, of course, wouldn't even let him put on his own shoes. On the drive home, my mother complained bitterly. "That Cullen is a worthless excuse for a human being. His brother's been in the hospital for days and he hasn't even visited once, let alone apologized. Just wait till we get home, I'll teach him a lesson." My father glanced at her with a grim expression. "I told you, keeping him in the house is nothing but trouble. It's only a matter of time before something worse happens." The word lesson sent a complicated feeling that welled up inside me. Memories flooded my mind, overwhelming and relentless. From the moment I could remember, my mother had always favored Miles. She made it clear that I was expected to give in to him in everything. It all started on the day he was born. I had accidentally spilled water, causing my mother to slip and go into premature labor. Miles had to spend weeks in an incubator. Everyone in the family doted on him as though he were the most fragile treasure. My father slapped me so hard that my eardrum burst. "You are nothing but a curse. Your brother was almost killed because of you." I still remember my mother lying in the hospital bed, weak and pale. She opened her eyes just long enough to give me a look filled with disappointment. When we were in elementary school, Miles and I fought over a toy car once. That single incident left me bedridden for 3 days after my father beat me senseless. It had been my favorite toy, even though it was technically a gift for Miles. My father had bought it for him while on a business trip, but decided to toss me one as an afterthought. Miles, of course, already had so many toy cars that he couldn't fit them all in his room, yet he deliberately picked a fight with me over this one during our tug of war over the car. Miles suddenly let out a scream and burst into tears. My mother rushed over, scooping him into her arms with tears streaming down her face. She turned to me, her voice shrill with anger. "What more do you want from him? It wasn't me." Before I could explain, Miles wiped his tears theatrically and sniffled. "Mom, please don't be mad. It's my fault. I shouldn't have fought with my brother over the toy."